O'clock. We'll call this meeting to order Monday, June 10th, 2024. Regular meeting. Terry, can you read us in prayer?
Yes, right. Father, we thank you for this rain as it's coming down. Lord, just come and heal this land. Lord, bring blessings and just good things to Dalhart, Texas. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
To the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Have a good card.
Did everybody get a chance to review the minutes and present any corrections, changes?
Make a motion that we accept the consent agenda.
Have a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
We have any public comments? Okay, discuss and act upon appointing a city of Dalhart council member to fill the vacancy in council member Ward 1. I think you had several names that y'all discussed among yourselves. I don't know what y'all's pleasure is. Need to do more discussion.
I think we need to continue looking and continue discussing on the members that have been brought up before we do anything. I don't know how everybody else feels.
Can we meet or how does that
You
work?
can discuss it now if you want. Or you can meet 3 and 3.
Yeah, kind of like how we have been. I think. And maybe try to put it out there, maybe get some more names if we can. It's always a good thing.
Want to table it for now then?
Yeah, I mean, because this is just, we don't have to act upon it. It's just discuss. So,
So you want to table this till the next meeting?
would make a motion that we table this item until next meeting.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second to table this till the next meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Darn. Item 3, discuss and act on resolution 2024-06, accepting the municipal maintenance agreement between City of Dalhart and Texas Department of Transportation. I'll open it up for discussion.
Well, I guess it's the same as before I had left. It's what the city was already taking care of the right of ways and reading what I read earlier, it's gonna be the same thing.
Yeah, hasn't changed.
Hasn't changed.
No. Still the same.
Are they willing to help in any way or is there? Is it
I mean, since we don't have
any-
anybody from TxDOT here, I mean,
We did meet with them and I got a package for the 2 gentlemen that came down and they said that they, just like everybody else, they got limited help, so they'll be mowing what they can, but they gave us some numbers if for whatever reason we need any help from them, they can help out. And with Manny here, he's been helping us out too, so we got good relations with him.
I talked to David Landis and Perryton. They've done the exact same thing. It didn't used to be that way. They used to help, as you know, they used to help quite a bit more. But I think after the sundown committee took away all their equipment, it makes it harder for them to do it as well. We end up having to take care of it a lot of times when they wouldn't, so.
So if there's, I know in the past, if there's water leaks,
in there, on the highway, you know, the water department would back them down, but they'd come in and fill in with their asphalt, or does the city have to do that now? Do you know?
I think it's still in there in certain highways between city limits and, I think it's all in there, everything that they take care of as far as patching and paving and in certain areas as far as, mowing and taking care of right of ways, things like that. I think it's all in the package, so. Like I said, we did have a good discussion with the two gentlemen that came down and they're willing to help us out. Just a phone call. So we got some direct numbers to the guys.
Yeah, because it'd be good if we knew when their street sweepers come through,
Yeah, they were supposed to come through.
and then, you know, the sidewalks. If we have the manpower and the time to do it, sweep that into the curb, they can,
Well, if we can coordinate.
yeah, coordinate, they could, we,
Yeah, that was my thoughts, getting with Jack and
Jack and Manuel.
Manuel was at that meeting too, right?
Yeah, he's talking, I think, talk about name.
Yeah, Manuel, Linus.
Yeah, man, he was in on that meeting.
Yeah, as long as you guys have the numbers to be able to contact them. That way, if Manuel and his guys are gonna go out, they can get a hold of TxDOT and coordinate with them.
yeah, because we have that broom attachment for the skid loader still that they get all the sidewalks. So I know they get pretty bad with road
Debris.
salt or whatever they put out. Any other discussion?
Make a motion, we accept resolution 2024-06.
Have a motion
Second.
and a second. Which one y'all?
Gary can have it.
Gary.
So.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? There are none. Okay, Leanna, I guess your staff update from code enforcement.
Myself over the weekend.
Smash your foot too?
We caught a lot of crap today with the us being in our meetings. They're like, what did y'all do over the weekend? So I'm going over just more about our numbers. Let's see. Our calls for service alone for code this in a month from April 22nd to May 22nd was about 152. And that's just for calls for service, not including inspections. So we've been really busy within this month, and it's been every month since I began in this department. For code enforcement complaints, permits, any new builds that have come through, we've had quite a few. I went over numbers for revenue. For the year of 21 to 22, we estimated, let's see, the budget that we brought in was 46,387 for that year. The following year, 22 to 23, the fiscal year of October to September, it was at 45,734. So I was looking at my numbers when I first began, and let's see, from October 23 to April of 2024, that was in a 6-month period. I've met my 92% of revenue reached in 6 months. So we're making way more better progress so far, reaching at 92% within 6 months. I'm going to be over 100%. So that's something good that this revenue is coming in for the city of Dalhart with the fee schedules that were adopted back in 22. So far, so good. The major projects that we're currently working on right now, I've got 2. One of them is right at the corner of 87 and 54, the Rookie Sports Bar. The state got involved, so we're just letting them maintain their part. We've had a licensed abatement contractor keep in contact with us or with me. I got the last call today, just an update, giving the property owner 2 different solutions of how they want to approach it. So it's more of either he can clean up the area that's already been demoed and treat it as asbestos and send it off to Canyon, or let this abatement contractor come in, clean up, take out what asbestos came back, and then let him continue on with the demo to haul it off to whatever landfill. TCEQ can get involved then. It depends on where they take this, where they decide to take the land or the stuff to the landfill, whether it be us or to text line. From my understanding, they're gonna have to push for Canyon. So just a little update with that one. And then, let's see, my meet and greet, that was another update that I wanted to do. So May 18th, I did a meet and greet for code, and this was something that it has never been done. I felt that this would give the citizens of Dalhart a chance to come and meet us in person. When I first began, it was a very difficult month, I'll say that. It was very difficult for me to come in and do what I needed to do, as a management head. I felt that this was going to give a lot of the citizens a way to come and approach us and have any type of concerns, complaints in person. I feel like communication this way goes a long way rather than getting a notice in the mail or whichever. I've gotten lots of compliance communicating this way, person to person, rather than sending a notice. So in that meeting, 8 people showed up out of the city of Dalhart. So it wasn't a great turnout. I wish it would have been better, but it was a chance that we could have at least pushed out for the city of Dalhart for them to come in and ask questions. The questions that were asked, I did receive one online actually that came through. One was a semi truck being along in city limits. Our streets can only endure at least 50,000 pounds within our streets, within residential areas. You have 80,000 pound semi trucks coming through that are loaded, that are ruining our streets. And so we're really trying to hit them and get them off the streetways, depending where they're at. We have a lot on residential. On properties, yes, we can try to enforce, but when it hits the streetway, that's where we try to get the police department involved for them to kind of get them removed. So we're working together with the police department to try to get that fixed for the most part. That way we're not filling potholes and the city, or what is it, the streets department having to come in and fill potholes. It's gonna help a little bit, hopefully. So we're gonna try to get together with the police department on that. Another question was the code enforcement officers. We were questioned a lot for code enforcement officers. We don't have any for the city of Dalhart. I'm not one, Julia is not one. We were questioned quite a bit, and we had to revert back to state law since there isn't anything in our ordinance that states that a city does have to employ. So we reverted back to this, the state law, which is the Texas Occupational Code, where it states a city doesn't have to employ, but you can delegate one as a city official or city official to act as. So right now, that's what we're utilizing up until we can figure out a direction. It was kind of, when I first started, we didn't have anybody in code. I had Dennis for 4 weeks of my time, but he went into retirement and then I was kind of stuck there after that. So once that happened, I had to find solutions. And so far, everything's worked pretty good for the department. So far, so good. Other than that, a little bit of back stuff that I'm doing for myself anyways. I'm currently working on my plumbing inspector license. I currently have 200 hours under a licensed plumber, 100 hours for my backflow training, 100 hours for my medical gas training, and currently working on my P1 for residential for my last 100 hours. It takes 500 hours for me to get where I need to be. And then I will be able to take my prep course for my inspector license. So it's coming along. Other than that, for my future, what I'm wanting to work on for code is going to be a lot of these abandoned buildings and residential and commercial buildings in the city of Dalhart. I feel that there's a lot of them that need help. So it's kind of where I want to start, kind of giving you guys an update where we're at. We're really working hard out here. If y'all see us out and about, I mean, like I said, we're out and about quite a bit. Y'all see us on the north end, depending on where we're at, but we're really trying. So far, so good. So just a little update for code.
Dennis and I both have been licensed, so we'll help you.
Yeah, he helped
Try to
me
get
quite a bit.
y'all up to nothing. Plumbing examiner test is is a lot tougher than the codes. Took me 5 minutes to take that test.
Yeah.
It's easy.
We haven't done the code one. I haven't looked very much into that one, the inspector one, though. He's been he guided me a lot in the very beginning and I took my notes and still have them. So that's where we're starting from there. So far, so good. We're getting there.
We'll plan on trying to help all of y'all.
Yep. We'll appreciate it all.
I don't know if this would pertain to you, Leon, or maybe Gilbert, y'all can answer this. I guess there was the post about not putting anything back in the alleys right now.
Mhm.
And they were saying that residents could not do that. Now, I know that residents have in the past been able to, and we have the knuckle boom go around town picking up all of that.
Mhm.
And I just want to make sure that we tell our people that we're needing them to try not to do that, but that it's not against code to put it back there because they've always been told.
There
as
isn't
long as
anything in
you
our
put it back
ordinance that states they can't. I think this was just, the streets department manager before the one we have now. He did want them to put it back there because they were short on, employees. So it helped them take the knuckle boom, go through. Where we came in, I mean, they tell us what they want us to do, what they want us to enforce. So this is where we come in, either if they want to do it that way. I think the only concern is, I think the landfill gives 500 pounds
free every month. Yeah.
each month for each residential place. Is how can you calculate that with the knuckle boom? So that's gonna be a streets department thing though. So,
Oh, that's why I just wanted to,
Yeah.
that's why I was saying, I didn't know if Gilbert had anything to say on that one there.
Just visiting with Manuel this morning. He was saying that somewhere along the line that the 500 pounds got canceled from out there where you couldn't take it, so they started putting it in the alley. So now it's reinforced, so you can have 500 pounds a month out there. So they're trying to get rid of them throwing stuff in the alley.
So why was it taken away the first time?
Miscommunication.
What?
It was a big miscommunication.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Cause what we did is we got rid of all the greens. We told them they couldn't throw greens out there because we had too many contractors putting everything in the dumpsters, in the green dumpsters. And then residents weren't able to fill up their green dumpsters because the contractors were filling up their green dumpsters. So then we told the contractors they had to pay for it. And so then it got a big miscommunication that we took away the 500, but we never did. We didn't take away the 500. We were just taking away the greens for the contractors. So the 500's always been there, should have always been there, never should have gone away.
However, that
So,
worked out.
yeah.
This is-
So the 500 was always there and they were still able, because not everybody can take a truck and a trailer and go out to the dump and do that. I mean, they can't. And that's why we have the knuckle booms and we have 2 of them to be able to go around picking up. So,
Now, the mechanic said both of them were down and he's got one back operational now.
Yeah. so.
We can post something.
I just had a whole lot of phone calls on that one, so.
In regard to your code enforcement, how close are you to getting that?
We currently have no one right now that we can work our year under.
Canyon, he's not a,
His was over, he's only here for plumbing. So yeah, he doesn't have he used to, but it expired in 21 is what he said. He never kept up with that one after he got out for just contracting. So no, he's not a licensed code
no,
enforcement officer.
other than somebody with code license.
Other than that, we have no one. So that's why we reverted back to the.
Probably gonna have to arrange for y'all to be able to ride with Amarillo.
Yeah, you'll have to go down.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. I had a solution. So I still have my TCO hours. Still have all my stuff there with TCO for law enforcement. I can report that to TDLR. It's just, I don't know the process it takes for me to do that, for me to report all that, if I have to retake the test or take the test.
You
for
just have to
TDLR.
call them and ask them if it's acceptable.
Yeah.
You have to do that with anybody that's had a felon, if they've had a felon or anything, they have to be approved
For background,
background.
that, yep.
All you have to do is get a year.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah. And she should have enough time actually doing it, but it's gotta be under a code officer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You had some time under Paul, didn't you?
sorry.
under Paul,
Under Paul?
I never met any of the ones that were here prior to me.
Under me.
Just you?
Yeah.
Um, Attorney on the,
Brian.
Brian?
Yes.
Yep, good evening.
Yeah, this is Dennis Rojas. I got a question with would it be a conflict of interest? If they was to work under my license?
That is a really good question.
And no, not being paid, just.
Yeah, exactly.
The city uses my license for that year to get somebody in Dalhart, these two ladies.
I will look into that. That's a great question.
I mean, I'm willing to, of course, I need to renew. I think I've got another 9 months left. I don't think it'd be a problem to. But I'm willing
That would
to help
sure help
out.
out.
Yeah,
Help out.
let me look into that and we'll report back.
Okay, thank you.
I appreciate you having that. I went to it. It was very informative. Cause I want to know what you did and you answered a lot of questions for me. Do you have anything? Has the guy that owns that corner there, has he said anything? I mean, is there a time?
I haven't spoken to him. Last I spoke to him was last Wednesday. He had to get an abatement license contractor in order for him to touch any of that. And I'm not sure what his holdup is. I've been speaking with, his name's Larry. He's the licensed abatement contractor that was contacted first. And then the state inspector, he's been kind of keeping me updated too. Any information they get, they give it to me. As of today, neither one of them have heard from him. So I don't know if he's in the process of trying to figure it out. I'm not sure what he's doing, but I did state in my part for the city, it becomes a dangerous structure. So if I start to do my part, I mean, I don't want to file a lien on the property. If I see progress, then great, but if I'm not seeing anything, then that's where I have to come in and start filing the liens and making sure that I push a little bit to get
I
that.
mean, I just want to hear 6 months from now.
Right.
But I do appreciate you having that. I really do. I think, I know I got a lot out of it.
Any other questions?
Anybody else have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll get with you.
Thank you.
Number 5. Go. So this will be our second reading. I think all of y'all know Christy Doble, right? So this will be our second reading. We're asking you to do our second reading for our agreement between the EDC, the Dalhart Educational Foundation, and then Frank Phillips College and Workforce Solutions. So we can give them some money so they can work and start their diesel program. I think everybody was here. Does anybody else have any extra questions that they've thought of since then?
I've got a couple of questions. I had some phone calls. One of them is to clarify that the EDC will give, I don't remember the amount, but
$150,000.
and the other 150,000 comes from what entity?
Workforce Solutions, right?
Texas Workforce.
Nothing from the city of Dalhart.
Nothing from the city of Dalhart.
Someone had misunderstood that. They thought.
Right.
the
So it's the EDC, we're going to give the 150,000 and we're giving it to the Dalhart Educational Foundation. That came into some of the play of how the money would be managed and how we can make sure it stays here and those things stay here. So that money will come and then that is the money that they're leveraging for the grant. Now, it also says that if we don't get the grant, get our money back. So it's just saying, because it's a matching grant by Texas Workforce Commission. So we're giving them half, they would give us half. And then that would give us the 300,000 for them to start their program.
Perfect. Question 2 that they had, the citizens' understanding was that any kind of money that EDC went into was going to add something that created jobs. How many jobs?
Okay, so the EDC gives money, that's one of our state mandates. So we're there to promote basically jobs. But part of that comes in is we also can promote educational to promote those jobs. So this is when you turn around and look at it, this is classified from the Texas Workforce as a in-need job. And especially for our area. So those fall into it. That's why we're able to do that. And those questions, they're good questions because we spent a month.
Yeah.
Because it was our lawyer, FBC lawyer, Workforce Solution,
trying to make sure that all these, we fall under the parameters that we're supposed to.
Question 3 that they had, this is not specific, I'm alumni.
Yeah, I understand.
sorry about this, I just have to answer back. So the question was, do entities like FPC, which would be governmental or
Mhm.
state entities, do they have to go through the same interview and do they have to do all the same paperwork that say HTO did, or did they have to go through all of the same things?
Actually, they probably went through more. We are restricted more to giving it to a public entity than we are restricted giving to a private business. Does that make sense? And then that entity, you know, there are certain things, like FPC fell into it, but I forgot the exact verbiage. There are some things that, for example, if they were, was it not in our district?
Yes.
So if they were not in our, what do you call the educational district? There's,
I'm
you know,
not
they,
sure the-
areas are broken up by this is what college can support that area. If they were in our area, we couldn't give them any money. So for example, if another college came to town and says, oh, we're going to open a small college, we want money. Because they're not, according to our state educational rules, they're not in our zone. Now, there's a name for it, and I don't know what it's called anymore. We couldn't give them money. So they actually went through a whole lot more.
Yes.
Like I say, if you read the paperwork, this was bounced back and forth and verbiage changed a lot just to make sure that we were following rules. Okay,
Perfect, thank you.
any other questions?
And also to further explain, we talked about this with the EDC. So all of the equipment, everything that is purchased through Texas Workforce or through the funds that EDC is going to provide. And of course, we still have to receive the grant. It has to be voted on first and then we apply for the grant. All of that will stay in Dalhart on this campus. It is so PRPC, who manages from the Texas Workforce, they actually come out and inspect. So every time, the last time we received a grant was in 2018 for the welding, and they come out and inspect it to make sure it's on our property. So the only things that we don't have to maintain are tools that break or whatever. We just have to
The
document. But,
pliers, they don't have to
you know,
count every set of
things like that,
pliers.
but I think it's anything that's over 5,000, they can come and inspect. But the way it's gonna work is, well, you know, like Joe said, the money will go to the Education Foundation. We will supply invoices and everything on the EDC side to Jeff Lloyd, who manages the Dalhart
Foundation.
Education Foundation, and then he will purchase for us through the EDC. So and I think that's a great way to manage in general. So, but we are completely appreciative. We have 11 students we have half of those that will graduate next semester. We were able to start with just the basic classes, the safety classes and things like that. So we anticipate 40 within the first year will go through the program. So that's starting from when our building's built and we have the funds in August to the next August. So the basic certificate's 3 semesters, the advanced is 5. And so we also had to go through all that. We had to go through projections. We had to go through how it relates to our CDL program and the welding program. So it was a big process. This has been back and forth.
Like I said, this is not something that just happened. Like I said, her projections, she had to project how many students they were going to have, how many of those students were going to stay in the Dalhart area, because that meets our workforce requirements, things like that. What is the average pay? What's the expected pay? Things like that.
How many businesses locally, which
Would
we
be
all know
supported by
are
those, yeah.
many
Yeah,
businesses. So
that number we were way above. They're like, yeah, that just.
Well, I got some questions about that also, but I think what happened was it came out in the paper, I believe, that Dalhart gave $150,000 to.
yes, I
Yeah.
think so.
That's what I read.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
That whole
again,
thing got screwed up.
that was put
I
up
agree
in
with
the
you.
verbiage.
Yes.
Yes.
I would say James was there when we did this. It's like, it's a little bit different. They didn't get all the verbiage in, and by the time it's published, you're like, that's not what we're said, but
Yes.
it is. The money is coming from the EDC, not the city. It's not costing you anything. Money goes to the Dalhart Educational Foundation, basically to manage it, so that I'm not buying tools and having to worry about they are, and then we give the money to them and then they manage that. That's what they do with some of the other projects that they do here. So that was the easiest way to do that. Then it's also the Dalhart's Educational Foundation. Those tools are purchased with them and then they track kind of like that, with FPC, that those tools stay here. Okay.
Television just printed what they wanted to. and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
it was like, say, like, 'cause I watched James on his interview, and then when you watch on TV, you're like, well, he said a whole lot more than that, And, and we got some phone calls and, because also said it's already approved. Well, it's
Yes.
not. And we repeatedly told them, it's like,
Second
this is
reading.
our first reading. They need a second reading for approval.
That was said in the interview.
And we said that in the interview, and it's like, just over and over, but that's not what it came out.
And
Just
then-
let you go ahead. So,
And then, and also, we have to receive the grant. So we have everything ready. We've had to, on all of the bigger equipment, we have to get 3 quotes. That's been challenging, trying to find businesses that have all of that specific equipment. So we have to provide 3 quotes on anything $5,000 and above. And so we have to do that as well to submit with our
and
grant.
if you
So-
look in your packet, because I think we gave you the whole packet, it has a tool list of what they're buying. And I mean, there are some hand tools, small tools, but realize, they're buying like, what was it, 10 sets or something?
Or 23 sets.
23,
or-
I don't remember what it was they're buying, because they have to fill so many toolboxes, because every station has to have a full toolbox. Okay. Anything else?
Now we need that open.
Well, we need to open or just close it?
No, you need to open it because you got to read it, do the second first, we got to do the second reading.
Okay, well,
But you had to do the questions, so
Reading.
there's none, yeah.
discuss and act upon reading second resolution of 2024-05, approving a project for City of Dalhart Economic Development Corporation 4B involving that certain job training program agreement between Dalhart Economic Development Corporation 4B, Frank Phillips College, and the Dalhart Education Foundation, Inc., and certain Panhandle Workforce Development Area Memorandum of Understanding and Financial Agreement between Panhandle Regional Planning Commission, Dalhart Economic Development Corporation 4B, and Dalhart Education Foundation, Inc., and Frank Phillip College.
We kind of did it.
Now, okay, that's a second reading.
Now you have to,
Close it.
well, you had a motion.
Motion to close it.
Brian, can you help on this?
Yeah, just need a motion to approve the resolution on second reading.
Okay,
I'll make the motion to approve the second reading.
for the resolution. Okay, I have a motion.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? There are none. Approved, second reading. Thank y'all.
So
Thank you so
I'm gonna ask
much.
Brian real quick. Brian, that means the resolution has been approved, right?
That's correct. Yep.
Okay.
You're rocking and rolling.
Okay, all right,
Thank
because
you
that's
so
her
much.
question, because then we'll have to get all the paperwork figured out so we can move forward.
If we were
Yep.
discussing there, a little confusion on it.
That's why I was asking too. All right.
Thank
Any
you
other
so
questions you
much.
have? We're good? All right, thank y'all.
you.
Wendy is presenting.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Move on to number 6. Consider an act one request to pay Cobra insurance coverage for 4 months. Employee who was injured while performing her job duties.
Good evening, Mayor and members of council. As you all know, on March 14th, 2024, Amanda Miller was involved in a very traumatic accident while performing daily work duties. Due to the nature of this incident, our employee has faced multiple surgeries, hospital stays, doctor visits, and further extensive medical treatment, and is currently still undergoing medical treatment for this injury. Because of the nature of her injuries and other complications after the accident, her return to date is unknown. Although this was a work injury, Texas Health Benefits Pool follows the FMLA law of 12 weeks of unpaid leave. This would have required her to return to work by June 8th to avoid a loss in insurance coverage. Since she was unable to return to work by that date, Texas Health Benefits Pool considers her to be terminated due to the fact that she has not been actively at work. As this accident was at no fault of her own, staff is asking for the ability to do the right thing by offering payment of employee-only Cobra coverage. This employee has endured so much since this accident And we do not believe that the loss of insurance coverage or the financial burden of COBRA should be added to that list. Although workman's comp will still cover any medical treatment directly related to this injury, she will still need to have medical coverage for any acute medical treatment that may arise until she is able to return to work. Staff would like to propose council the approval to pay the health premium for COBRA in the amount of $843.38 per month. If we do 4 months, that total would be $3,373.52. She did receive her COBRA letter for continuation of coverage and other health coverage alternatives. Unfortunately, because in here it states that employment is terminated, she has sought legal counsel. She's not really wanting to sign anything without speaking to an attorney first to protect herself. So, we're trying to assure her of, everything, that her job is safe. It was a workman's comp injury. She is not losing her job. This is just steps that we have to take in order. It's just the process with TML. Unfortunately, we can't extend FMLA timeframe. We can only extend COBRA coverage after the 18 months. So we'd like to see about offering some kind of coverage for us to pay the COBRA for her, so she's not.
Unfortunately, I've been through this a couple of times here. And we've done this in the past. So.
And Brian, are you still looking into that for us as well?
No, so I looked into that and I believe you can do that. Obviously you've done it in the past and you've got a charter provision, section 34. That says that council shall have the authority to provide for rules and regulations for maintaining employees when injured and disabled while performing their duties. And it continues. So that's definitely within your discretion. So.
Okay, so will we just need to make a resolution for that?
Just council action to, you can
council
approve
action.
the request, and it'll be in the minutes and that'll be fine.
Okay.
You're asking,
Sorry.
you're asking for 4 months?
The original discussion between myself, Gilbert, and Ken was 4 months of coverage for Amanda. Which, that could possibly change, and we may have to come back and request for more because we don't know her prognosis.
Oh.
Like I said, I reached out to her today to try to find out if she has any idea of her prognosis, but I was immediately shot down with conversation because she has sought legal counsel. So.
I was gone when this happened. Didn't she get run over by a truck?
She got rear-ended by a semi in a front end loader, and she has very traumatic injury to her arm. She's already lost, I think it's just right below her elbow. She's gone through lots of reconstructive surgery, had her stomach, her arm sewn inside of her stomach. She has a wound vac that she has worn for, I don't know how long. I think she's had, about 20 surgeries, if not more, and is expected to go under more because they haven't even done the reconstruction of the top part of her arm. That's all still crushed. So.
The truck's insurance isn't covering any of this, or?
No, it's workman's comp. I think the truck insurance is covering a portion of this, but our main concern is her acute medical care.
Right.
She will have no insurance. So if she gets sick, if something happens outside of this injury, anything can come up acute medically. She won't have the means. Workman's comp does not pay 100% of your salary.
Right.
So with her taking a loss in her salary, having to pay for COBRA coverage of almost $840 a month, she has a family. And
What's
it's just
the end date of her existing insurance?
It's the end of this.
the end of this month.
End of this month.
If she did not return by June the 8th, then her insurance terms June the 30th, which COBRA would then take effect on July the 1st. If we can get paperwork done and get a payment sent in, then she'll be covered beginning July the 1st. So
If we need to further cover this, is that possible? If it goes beyond the 4 months, I guess we'll have to bring it back up.
that'll just have to be approved by council.
That'll just be another
we
council
bring it
action.
back. Yeah.
Okay.
Why 4 months? What's magic about 4 months?
That was just a number that Ken had said, just to kind of put it out there to see. We even had the discussion that, she could be out longer than 4 months. We don't really know. She's got such a long road ahead of her still that we just kind of said 4 months as a rough number, a rough estimate, but try to keep following up with her, see how she's doing and if
As long as we
it's
can
longer.
keep looking into that, because there's no reason why that should, I mean,
But
we
it
need to take
can't-
care of her.
It can't go over 18 months.
Right.
Okay.
Now Cobra only goes 18 months, but I believe we can file for an extension of Cobra.
But I understand, that's what I was
Mhm.
wondering about.
Yeah, when I've called and done my research and studying on this, they said we can do an extension for Cobra past the 18 months, but we can't do anything about her health insurance. Because unfortunately, you have to be actively at work or you have to be part-time working, I think it's 30 hours or more, to qualify for an at work. We looked into ideas. I've talked to her foreman about working from home, but she's gone so much with doctor visits and so many unexpected things have come up from the injuries, different infections, and it's a lot to try to put on her to do something part-time at home when everything she's dealing with from physical to mental and everything, it's a lot.
It was left arm and then she's left-handed.
What's her timetable coming back? I mean, she wants to come back?
As far as I know, she does. The last manual spoke to her, she does want to come back.
Now, when you engage with Cobra, it'll just be a month at a time until it's no longer needed, correct?
Correct.
You don't have to make a deal with them for,
No, you just pay a month at a time, which of course I believe, so if we wanted to cover for July, I think I need to check with Valerie and see when that would have to be paid, but it would have to be paid. I believe it's before the 30th in order for it to carry over to the next.
No, it's actually 8/29. It says on this sheet.
Is it 8/29? Okay, well, that's her deadline to enroll. So your active coverage ends on 6/30. If elected Cobra coverage will be effective on, that's her deadline to enroll.
so I'm so new at this. I don't ever want to break any rules, but can we talk about stuff right now?
Yeah.
Can I throw ideas out?
Yeah.
Okay. If it's paid month to month, and once it's not needed, we can quit paying it. I don't know why we wouldn't just go ahead and approve 18 months if needed.
So I was gonna see if
So
you'd
she can
entertain a
have,
motion.
she can have the peace of knowing that we don't have to just check in.
4 months, she's gotta, yeah, we gotta go through this.
And maybe she'll be back in 4 months and we no longer need it, but
Would you entertain a motion?
Yeah, if y'all are discussing all.
Y'all wanna entertain a motion?
I move that we offer her Cobra coverage up to 18 months as needed.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Thank you.
Did you get that as written, 18 months?
Yes, I did. Who seconded it?
I
Jerry
did.
Messer.
Okay,
Keep us posted on that.
Please do.
I will, yes. I'll keep following up. I know, I don't know if I can get her to communicate with me, but if anything, I can maybe just communicate with her lawyer. She gave me her attorney's information, so I can follow up with them or.
Or don't, Brian can.
Yeah, Brian, I
Yeah.
can send Brian her attorney information. They can communicate back and forth. It's better that I'm not in it since there's attorney involved.
We're willing to work with her in any way we can. And he needs to, her attorney needs to understand that we're gonna try to do everything we can to help her.
okay. Thank you, Wendy.
Welcome.
She's up.
I'll just wait
Next.
because I'm up next again.
Oh, number
Chair,
7,
you got the next
discuss an
one.
act
You're
on
right here.
rate increase for employees insurance coverage for the FY 24-25 year.
Great. So, City of Dalhart's received our renewal information for employee insurance coverage through Texas Health, Benefits Pool for the 24-25 fiscal year. The rates figured from the employee census, the loss ratio, and the location of providers. We had an 81% loss ratio, which included $789,000 worth of claims that were not included in the 50% increase that we saw the last fiscal year, 22-23. Based on the 3 demographics, we could have seen an increase of up to 32%, but because of our time in the pool, we qualified for a 3% increase. This rate, if approved by council, would be our renewal rate for the 24-25 fiscal year. And if approved, the employee paid premium for employee-only coverage would increase from $826.84 per employee to $851.66 Employee plus spouse would increase from 1,678.50 to 1,728.88. Employee plus children from 1,455.28 to 1,498.96. Employee plus family, 2,439.14 to 2,512.34. As you see in the renewal notice in the top, it doesn't affect our benefit percent, which is still 80/50. Our in-network deductible is still 5,000, out-of-network still 10,000, office visit copay is $30, so that doesn't change any of that. We'll also see a slight increase for employer paid vision coverage, which we had passed, I think it was last year, that we cover employee and family. City paid for the premiums for those. The rates would increase from $10.47 to $12.58 for employee only, $19.90 to $23.92 for employee plus spouse, $20.94 to $25.18 for employee plus children, and $26.71 to $32.10 for employee plus family. The rate increase did not apply to our dental coverage. We didn't see a change in the dental, the life insurance that's provided by employer, the accidental death and dismemberment that's provided by the employer, additional life, voluntary accidental death and dismemberment, or the dependent life. So based off of the information, staff is recommending to accept that 3% increase and retain our insurance plan with the Texas Health Benefits Pool.
Premiums you read are annual.
That's monthly. So
Month.
yeah, that'd be monthly. So if it was just an employee, it would be $851.66 per employee per month. Which the average increase that has been seen around the cities in our pool was about 2%. So I mean, we're doing pretty good compared to last year at 50% or the 32%. So
Entertain motion. Make a motion that we accept the health coverage insurance rate increase for 24-25.
A motion from Di,
I'll second it.
second from Dennis. All in favor?
Aye.
All, any opposed? Or none?
thank y'all.
Thank you.
Nice.
Number 8, let's talk about something fun.
Yes.
Ty, I think you're gonna champion this cause.
I am. I'm gonna champion this
Explain
one.
what's going on since I didn't get to make it.
Yeah, so the Downtown Business Association had their first meeting this last Thursday. And myself and Gary Messer were there and listened to their conversations and their concerns. Their main concern right now is with needing the city council to back them on what they're wanting to do. They just didn't feel like they've ever had council backing before on pushing different ideas through. And they're looking at abandoned and falling apart buildings downtown that need a lot of help. And they feel that there's gonna need to be a council action to get that done. And so they feel like if we can back them, then they can do more. And they can get more done downtown and making downtown beautiful like it should be, looking nice. And so that's what they're really looking at. They're gonna meet again the 27th. And I think they're gonna look at getting officers put on the board and having that continue to go forward. And I mean, downtown's huge. Look at the car show that we just did.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we had 162 cars downtown. That was 42 more cars than we had last year. And there, every business that could be open was open downtown, and they were booming with business. Everyone went into the businesses, everybody was buying things. It was amazing seeing so many people downtown and so many people being able to profit from everyone being downtown. So if we can get that push with this association, help them as much as possible, I think our downtown will really kick off.
Well, we had that Zygai study done. And even then, I mean, that was 10 years ago, and they said if you can retain 1%, it's more than $1 million in your income in the city. You can just retain 1%. Something I've noticed forever, and you still don't have it. There's no signage that tells people to get off the highway,
To come.
both locations, downtown and down at, so.
Yeah. But I mean, I think there's things that we can do as a council that will help.
Do they plan on
downtown.
putting a presentation or something together?
I believe they are going to after they meet on the 27th. What they would like from council is a resolution per se that says we're gonna back you. And they want us to sign it and say, hey, we are gonna back you as an association to help you get downtown moving.
Run it like an HOA, basically. And let them patrol it, take care of it. But we put teeth in.
Yeah,
what they wanna
we
do.
give the association some teeth to be able to focus on downtown. And really get it, like I said, get it going. Because, you know, we've been trying to get the downtown, to get certified. And so there's certain things that they've got to do to get that done. So we can be recognized. But they also have to do that, but they're saying they need us to back them up in that, so. I think we should. Because nobody wants to come to a downtown that's falling apart.
Without us being involved, absolutely 100% directly. Just let them.
And you know, Joe told them, you know, there's incentives. You know, we put teeth in this thing, but here's incentive to get that fixed. The EDC will help put money towards those businesses.
So our incentives, said that was that, we cannot incentivize the downtown association, but we can incentivize the businesses.
Right.
But like I said, that presentation, we've talked about trying to get them to do it. We gave them a lot of things, I just don't think we had the numbers there to elect officers that night, so they postponed it. But you know, this is something we worked on for a year. And we gotta move forward, and there was a lot of discussion that they brought in. As Ty was saying, they said they wanted some little more confirmation from the council that council will kind of back them up and support them. So that they can move forward, because, you know, that was one of the things that, you know, we were directed as a team to pull out. We're there to support them, but it's not our position to manage or operate this association. So we want to give them that control, and then we be part of it as to help and support and so forth.
Yeah, and I know they want teeth, but voluntary compliance is usually a lot easier.
And I think that's really what they're pursuing. But once we go so far, you kind of have to have like, well, at what
There's
point?
gotta be something, yeah, that we can do as a council that says, okay. You've been asked to do this and you're not helping the situation. Let's put something together.
Have to get code enforcement involved.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Like a 60-day process, give them that, you've got 60 days to get this up and running in operable
Yes.
building, and if you don't, that's what we come in.
Yes.
Well, a good example of that was Paris, Texas.
Yeah.
I mean, one of them is already, we have a building right here behind us that, glass falls out on the street. There's people that don't even want to walk down the street because of, you're afraid something's gonna fall out, it's broken into constantly, and that's a lot of, that was the first thing they brought, can we address that building? But I mean, that's a process too.
Right.
It's not something we just come up and like, okay, here we go. But this is something like I say,
Yeah, those businesses downtown are trying to put so much effort in right now. And they're just needing some help from council.
So what action do we need to take?
We're gonna end up probably having to do a ordinance for abandoned buildings.
But nothing.
Good to not.
No, nothing tonight, no.
Nothing.
But they're just wanting us to say, hey, we're gonna back you. We're gonna help you. We're gonna
And
push.
I believe it's in there. It's
That's what I was
just-
gonna say. There is an ordinance already.
Yeah, we've had that, but like I said, that's why I say voluntary compliance works a whole lot better because it's really tough on code officers.
I'll work with you too to see if we can't find it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's a wonderful idea. But I guess support the women out there.
Make a motion that we
Nope.
adjourn.
I'd like to talk about personnel.
Okay.
It's not.
Oh, well, it's not on the agenda.
It's not.
No.
So we can go into executive session.
No.
No.
Okay. Dang it.
No.
Correct.
So that,
He
I
said,
think he said yes.
Brian, he was asking you.
Oh, yeah, no, it's not on there's nothing on there to go into executive session on, so. no,
if I
you
want to
are-
talk about the Ward 1 position, we can't talk about that.
Oh, you want to talk about Adam,
It's a
Two.
different.
Adam two?
Yeah,
I guess we could,
Okay.
You've already
Mm,
tabled that.
yeah,
for
we
next
tabled it
meeting,
yeah, so just get it next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make a motion that we adjourn.
You got a motion to adjourn
Second.
and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.